Hey, Black Belt reads. Hope everyone's doing well. Really excited to talk about this one. It is A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen Peck. This is one of those books that's definitely going to stick with me for a long time. It's very short, but the amount of time I read versus the amount of time I'll be thinking about the book is got to be up there on the scale. Sometimes you read a book that's like 800 pages and it's great, but once you're done, you don't really think about it very much afterwards. But this, it's like 100 pages, and I've thought about it all week long. Short Stay in Hell. It's about the afterlife. What happens when we die? Where do we go? Is there a heaven and hell? In this novella, a group of people find themselves in the afterlife after they've died. And it's not what anybody expected. They're all in hell. And they're being ushered off to kind of their own personal hell. So, in the instance of our main character here, he gets sent to the Library of Babel. Now, what is the Library of Babel? It's a short story by Jorge Luis Borges. It's about a library. It's in this collected fiction. Great book, really great book. I just reread a couple of the short stories and I reread The Library of Babel. But the Library of Babel has every book that's ever been written. It also has every single book that could ever possibly be written. This is going to take a little bit of time to wrap your mind around just how wild that is. It's depicted on the cover here. It's rows and rows of bookshelves filled with books. Every book is 410 pages and contains the characters of the alphabet. What is it, 24 letters, and periods and commas, I believe. So every book that could possibly be written, it doesn't have to make sense. So our character finds himself in this library and he's told all you have to do to conclude your time in hell is find your book. Find the book of your life. If every book could possibly be written, of course there would be a book about your life, word for word, your whole life from birth till you died. And yeah, but every book's 410 pages. So is he looking for multiple volumes? There's a lot of people here in this particular hell. It seems like people that really liked reading get sent here. So if I die, anyone watching this, we would all be sent to this hell most likely because we love reading, right? At first, it doesn't seem so bad. You're given what you need to eat, drink, you're able to sleep. You can be hurt, but every morning you wake up new, fresh. You're the peak of your physical capabilities. Everyone, even if you died when you're like 90, you come back to this hell and you're like 25 years old, basically. So the horror really starts to set in just when you think about how many books there would be. If every book ever written or could possibly be written were in this library, how big is the library? Is it infinite? It seems infinite. It goes on as far as you can see. Like I said, it's depicted here where there's rows of books and then there's kind of a space in the middle. And it just goes on forever. Up, down, left, right, north, south, east. It goes forever. There's a part in the book where our main character here, he is a Mormon. So he's pretty upset when he dies and does not go to the Mormon heaven. He gets ushered into this hell and is told, Yeah, that Christianity, Mormon, all that, that wasn't the correct religion. It was actually this other religion you've never heard of. Zoroastrianism or something crazy that none of these people have ever heard of was the real religion. Sorry. That automatically got me thinking, what happens when we die? There's so many religions. I mean, it just depends on where you're born, what religion you practice. How are you so confident to say your religion is the right one if there's so many options? Yeah, that's always bothered me. But at one point, this guy gets so kind of frustrated with the people around him that he just decides he's going to see how far the library really goes. So he just starts running. He's in really good shape and he just runs. He runs and runs for weeks. You know, he'll run all day and then sleep at night, eat food, wake up, run again, and he just runs in a straight line. I think he said he runs for months, maybe like 3 months or something. Maybe it's 3 weeks. Either way, it's crazy, right? He gives up. There seems to be no end. There's just people reading books, and he just keeps running and meeting all these people and telling them what he's doing, and they're like, "That's really cool. We'd love to know if there is an end to this." Eventually, he comes back. He just gives up, comes back. People are very disheartened when he tells them there doesn't seem to be an end to it. So, time goes on. Years go by. People start to wonder, how long would it really take you to find your book? Years? 10 years? 10 years of just looking in the shelf, grabbing books, flipping it open, and the book is just nonsense. It's like all A's and B's and F's, or just random characters. There's instances where they pick up a book and it's just total nonsense. Like every single book on this whole shelf from one site to as far as you can see is all just nonsense. So time goes by. We cut to like hundreds of years later. So it's been like 100 years. These people don't age. Every morning they wake up, it's all refreshed. Even if you die, you wake up again and you're just right back where you were, checking all the books, looking for your book. Hundreds of years have gone by and they haven't even found a book with a legible sentence in it. That's that's when it starts to really dawn on the reader that this is an impossible task. You can never find your book. It's the possibilities are seemingly infinite, right? But the possibilities are not infinite. If you really thought about it, and they talk about this in the book, there would be a finite amount of books. It's not infinite. There's only so many characters, so many pages. Eventually it would end, right? So what is the number? Well, things go very horrible for people. Of course, there starts to become factions of people that basically do horrible things, torture people, all these things. So our main character here, as depicted on the cover, he decides to jump over the railing and he just wants to reach the bottom. He knows, when he hit the bottom, he would die, but then he'll just wake back up alive the next morning, right where he was. So he jumps. How long do you think it would take to hit the bottom? He's just falling and falling through space, and it just seems infinite. He's falling for days. He's getting hungry, he's getting thirsty, and he's just falling, and nothing he can do. And it's getting worse and worse and worse until one day he wakes up and he feels fine, but he's still falling, and he realizes that he died of thirst. But he just woke back up and he's still falling. This is the kind of horror that's in this book. It's very, very psychological, very haunting, existential horror. He falls for weeks. Weeks. He's just falling in free space. Finally, he decides to kind of use his body to shift as he's falling and slam into the wall. He breaks bones, everything, but eventually he kind of falls into one of the rails and gets back onto a floor of the library. That's when he meets a group of people that are very depressed, very distraught. And he wants to know, why they're so upset. Are they new in hell? No, they've been there for a long time, just like he has. But with them is a mathematician who has calculated exactly how many books would potentially be in this library. Because again, it's not infinite, there's a finite amount. And the number he gives is just mind boggling. I couldn't even wrap my head around it. It's not even like a number I could say out loud. It's so unfathomable. It's, you know, the, to the power of X and all these things. Basically, you know, it's not infinite, but god damn, it might as well be. It would take so it would take eons to go through every book. So why is it called A Short Stay in Hell? Is it because compared to infinity, eons would be a short stay. If you lived forever, if you really lived forever, eons would pass and be in your past, and eventually you would think of it as just a short time because your life would be so vast, so long. This kind of thing is pretty crazy to think about. It really messed me up when I read it. So happy that you guys recommended this to me. I wish I could remember who it was. I'm always fascinated by religious horror, and this is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. It was incredible, truly. So I highly recommend the book. Highly, highly recommend it. It's very short, easy read, but it's a book that will make you think very deeply when it's done. So appreciate you guys being here, watching all the recommendations, all the comments, everything. I'm almost at 500 subs. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. If you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all on the next one.